What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to Let's Build the U.S.S. Enterprise A 2.0 Season 1 Episode 12. I'm Zero Elite, and I just want to thank you very much for tuning in today's episode. And if you do enjoy this content, if you guys can help me out, hit that like and subscribe button, helping me and supporting the channel. I can't thank you guys enough for that. Today we've got about an 18-minute episode. We're going to be picking up right where we left off, adjusting the progression lines on our saucer, and then I believe we'll also get some work done on our torpedo launcher. So without further ado, let's kick back, relax, we're going to dive right into this thing. Alright, so now we're just going to come in a little bit to clean this up. We're going to get rid of that X-axis point just right up to that ring, which is now... It was our second progression line, but now it's our first. Okay, we are in good shape now. So we're just going to continue on repeating this step that we've been previously doing. So now we're going to be going to the next ring that progresses upwards, and we're going to be adding a row directly underneath it. And you're going to want to do this going all the way around the ring. Then we're going to be going to the next progression ring. Same deal. We'll be adding a row underneath it. And you want to do the same step going all the way around. And then we're going to be getting rid of that X-axis line right up until the next ring. And then we're going to be deleting that very top row. Do not want, I can't even talk, you do not want to delete the row underneath it. We're just getting rid of that one line. Because when you think about it, we've already done the work. We've already gone through the pixel circle generator. We've already got our placement in line. We're just bringing this down by one block. Very simple what we're doing, so there's no need to hit that pixel circle generator up again. So now we've brought that down. Now we're going to be going in one. We're going to be getting rid of that X-axis line up until that next ring. Do that for all four. And then we're going to come in, same deal. That last row that we added, the row underneath, we're going to get rid of the row up top, and then get rid of our X-axis lines right up until that ring. And this ring's small enough that I can do it all in real time. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Now as we come inward, we're going to get rid of the blue. Get rid of this red and then the blue underneath it. We're also going to get rid of the red going forward. At this point, these are just builder lines. They weren't intended to stay. I'm hoping that what I've gone through on this tutorial specifically and how I did the saucer, I really tried to rethink my process for you guys and to make this as simple as possible. The way I built out the saucer is what I'd like to do going forward for all my saucers when I do them. So if you did feel that it was easier this time around, let me know in the comments section. If there was anything that stood out to you that was confusing or anything like that, let me know in the comments. As long as you're nice about it, I really do appreciate the constructive criticism. It helps the channel ultimately. Now that's not looking too bad. You can see we really toned down the progression on the top of the saucer. It's going to progress a little bit more on the downside, on the bottom of it, but that's exactly what we want. We want that progression to be a little bit more on the bottom and not the top, but at the same time, we don't want the top of our saucer to be flat. So, all right, now we're going to be coming back to the very center of the top of our saucer and going around that inner ring. We're going to be doing a row going all the way around directly above it. So we're reversing the process this time around. Instead of going down, we're going to go up one. And then once you've completed that step, now we're going to start to fill in our hull even more. We're going to bring this in all the way up to the next ring. And remember, you want to make sure that you stop on that ring and you're not building directly below it, because we want to maintain that circle as much as we can, just in case we need to use that at a later date. And you want to knock that out going all the way around. Alright, now same deal. We're going to be going to the next progression, and we're going to fill all this in up to the next ring. But we're also not going to build underneath that ring. I know some of this gets repetitive, but I mean, that's basically what I'm doing. A lot of this is very repetitive. And following the steps in this way, honestly, has really helped me, because it's just like with anything else. It's repetition. And if you get in a habit of doing things a certain way, it starts to become a lot easier as you go and do it. It also starts to become a lot easier to identify mistakes when they occur. So right now that we filled in that row, we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to be going up one and filling that in until we get to that circle, but not building underneath it. And you're going to do that going all the way around. She's starting to look pretty good. Alright, so now we're going to come back with some half slabs. I need to go down. There we go. Now we're cooking. And we're going to go with that cut line. And we're going to do this going all the way around our saucer. You want to make sure that you're building that on the bottom part and not the upper part. Then we're going to go up to our next ring. Same deal. Want to make sure to add those half slabs going all the way around with your cut. And then finally, we're going to follow that same step on our last row. And you're going to do this going all the way around. Once you've completed that step, we can move on. Now I want to add in a little bit more texture, showing some of those hull lines. So on the second progression for the ring, I believe this is, we're going to be doing a row of light gray concrete going all the way around. And the same thing for that next progression. Going with our cut, we're going to do this going all the way around. Once you've completed those steps, we're going to be moving right along. We're going to start to get some foundation work done for the shelf where our bridge is going to sit. So I want to get back into a little bit of this here, so this way you guys can get your placement at the same point where I am. So you can see we had 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a second row of 2, but it's actually continuing on that same row. I'm just going to be doing a pattern of 4. Now, I can tell you ahead of time, this is going to change. This is just a first attempt. Basically, what we're going to do to blend all of this in is that once we have our general template in place of the angle that this needs to go at, we're going to use our hull lines to blend all of this in together to make it look a lot better. We're not doing anything real crazy here. After that first row of 2, we were just doing a pattern of 4 and going in with a cut. You can see every shelf that goes downwards, I just go downwards, but making sure to continue my pattern. We're looking pretty good. That more or less has that angle that the top of the saucer has on the Enterprise A from Star Trek Beyond, and that's what we want. What I don't like about it is the jankiness of how it angles down with each row. And you see I'm going to try out 1 or 2 things here, but I've already told you guys ultimately what we're going to land on to make this work. Because basically my first idea was that, well, you know, maybe if I just build out the backs and continue that line work for every progression line, maybe it won't look as janky, but it's still there. Maybe I could have figured out a way to make this work just like that, but I personally think what we end up on is going to end up looking so much better. Alright, so we're going to shift gears here. We're going to head down to the deflector dish. We're going to throw in some sea lanterns to get some light going up in here. I'm just going to do it on the corners. Not going to do a full ring or anything like that. I hate using the candles if I can help it. If I had my way, I'd just be using the illuminated blocks. And I'm not even going to go into my rant about full spectrum of illuminated blocks and full color range of half slabs. I'm not even going to go there with Mojang and Microsoft. The fact that we don't have this stuff in 2025. We've got a Minecraft movie with Jack Black and Jason Momoa. You can do all that and spend millions of dollars, but you can't give me a full spectrum range of illuminated blocks and a full color range of half slabs. I don't get that. But whatever. I promised I wasn't going to rant about it, even though I kind of did. But that's just how I feel about it. So we've got to get some illumination going up in here. It's a little bit too dark for my taste. What I should have done in the middle row there, I should have done on this middle row here, I could have done a sea lantern in the middle and just covered it up with half slabs in the top and bottom. If I don't end up doing that, you definitely should, because it will eliminate the need for us to have that candle right there, just to make the ship a little bit cleaner. And I just added a sea lantern on the very middle front, where the neck meets the lower hull. and you can see. I don't know why it didn't occur to me to do that sea lantern in the middle of the torpedo launcher, but you know, it's so easy to point out a mistake that somebody else has made, or that you had made in the moment while you were doing it. It's so different because these answers, just for whatever reason, they're not always so apparent to you. This is why I say it's so vital to step away for a minute sometimes and to come back at a later point with a fresh set of eyes, because that's all it is that, you know, whoever's looking at it has they have an advantage over you because it's their first time seeing it, and they're not almost I don't know if I'd say jaded, or maybe that it's that you're trying so hard to get it where it needs to be. Maybe you're just not noticing the change. Maybe it's due to frustration. Could be a couple of different things. But the point that I'm trying to make is that, you know, sometimes you got to step away for a little bit and come to it with a fresh set of eyes, so that this way you can try to combat those problems a little bit better, because it may not always be apparent to you. I'm not sure about some of that line work that we just did on the bottom part of the torpedo launcher. The lighting, I mean, it could work, but we're going to let it ride for now. We are going to do for every other row on the neck and the very front, we're going to add in some candles. Same thing on that next progression line, do it every other row. So we don't have too many of them, but we've got enough to light that area up. That doesn't look too bad. That one row right there in the neck, I don't like it. It makes it look pixelated. It should be nice and clean. We might have to come back and take that out. I don't like it one bit. That row right there. Unless we do it up top, but we can't because it's not going to look right because of the room that we have in the bottom compared with the top. The cut lines won't be the same. Yeah, see, that looks so much better. Just that clean line, because that's what I originally envisioned when I well, it's not what I originally envisioned. The original version was way stubby and tiny to match how it looked in the movie, and I wanted to make it look a little bit more futuristic after I built it out. I didn't like how it looked. And to maintain that sleekness, we had to get rid of those extra blocks. It just wasn't looking right. Alright, so going off of the very center here of our circle, our x-axis point. You can see I'm just going back at an angle. This is, going to it again, this is why it's so vital to keep this stuff here on your build, because you're going to utilize it later on as you go. And having these here to kind of help you out, it just makes everything a lot easier. Because to me anyway, it's a lot easier to leave this stuff in the build and just utilize it, and then once it's done, clean it up, as opposed to maybe having to retread that work a few times if and when you have to go back to it. And I'm not doing anything crazy, I'm just continuing that pattern onwards, and this is going to go all the way out. But as you can see, I didn't impede on any of my current patterns that I have in place. But we're looking pretty good. I think that's ultimately going to do it for us today. But I just want to thank everybody again for tuning in today's episode. If you did enjoy this content, if you can help me out, hit that like and subscribe button. I can't thank you guys enough for that. But anyway, I just want to thank everybody again, and I hope everyone has a happy and safe weekend. And of course, what did you make in Minecraft today? Post your photos in the Discord.